Good morning. Happy Friday. Boy, I'm telling you, I love spring, but I just don't like the Santa Ana winds. I'd rather go through any other type of weather rather than wind, but I think most people feel that way, don't you? I'm Michelle. I'm with Resonant Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics. I have been practicing metaphysics since I was 14, and I created a center here in Albuquerque where some of the greatest metaphysical minds meet to discuss and work from. So I am very happy to be here. And today we're going to be talking about the difference between a mentor and instructor and how we go about making those commitments and understanding how it's working. Are we getting scammed? This has come to light to me for the past 3 or 4 days. Each day I've had an element of this come up, and I thought, wow, why is this showing up now? And I realized that a lot of people don't realize that there is marketing terms and new age words to use that don't mean anything more than what they did 30 years ago. It's just sounding cooler. Like stress was the buzzword for uh, the 1990s. Okay. And it was fibromyalgia. It's this, it's that. It's there's catchphrases where they put everything in. So fibromyalgia was a area of when they didn't know what else to do, and your body was in pain, and this was happening, and that was happening, and they couldn't find out what was wrong. You got the diagnosis of fibromyalgia. I'm not saying that people don't have fibromyalgia. I'm saying a lot of people with fibromyalgia um, there are a lot of people who didn't have fibromyalgia. They were misdiagnosed because it was the catchphrase. It was the easy thing for the doctors to push it to. So instead of having rheumatoid arthritis, which sounded like an old disease for old people, they understood that it was uh, fibromyalgia was a for younger people. And the truth was, as many people suffered for that because they needed treatment for rheumatoid arthritis. And that was all brought about by celiac disease. So, I get that some of us old folks may seem unknowing in our words of wisdom, and we don't understand. And that was the crap that I heard when it come out of my mouth when I was younger. Well, they don't understand, but they do. It's just that there's understandings. So I had noticed a few people that came my way this week were getting marketed to. Catchphrases were being used to get them to come to their programs, and they were spending. One woman told me she spent over $3,000 to get her uh, healing degree. She got a healing degree, and it was a weekend course for $3,000, and now she's a shaman, and that really stung because we're taking quick fixes, thinking that because the energy is so high that knowledge is just going to come out. It takes time, it takes meditation, and it takes training. So my question is, are you getting a mentor who gives you information and guidance freely? Even if they teach a class, are they willing to give you information and guide you to your next step, even if you've taken their classes? Are they still with you? Are they still continuing to work with you? Are you getting an instructor, somebody who you go and you take the class and you might want to take their next class offered this time next year? Or are you getting marketed to? Are you getting scammed? And that's the biggest concern that I have. Um, this is, I see so many of my fellow instructors, and yes, we are all older, um, and they are mentors, and they're happy to help people, but they've pulled back quite a bit because what they're noticing is people don't really want to learn. They want to make money. They don't want to commit to working and walking this path because they have to heal the brokenness within them. and it becomes more of a trauma drama, and it's falling apart. So they're not. They're only working with people who are already on their path, and already they quit working with people who are just starting. And that saddens me because they're right, and that really saddens me. There's so many people willing to pay huge bucks to become great overnight, and it doesn't work that way. I know people who think they know it all, and they are uh, they've only got their feet wet, maybe not even their big toe, just dipping their big toe in the water to see if it's cold or warm. This is not work. This is a lifestyle. This is a path we follow. This is a destiny. This is who we are. And if we're going to wake up, we need to find our mentors. And a mentor looks like somebody who's willing to give information away for free. They're willing to have discussions with you that doesn't involve money before they have the discussion. Um, they're actively working in this world, and they have done, and they have experience. They have experience teaching. They have experience guiding. And they're wanting to help people get to their next level, whether it be through them or someone else. A mentor isn't worried about uh, what they get out of your work. A mentor is concerned about how they need to be responsible for the truth they speak to you. The minute that we quit speaking truth, and the mentor becomes, just like the instructor, becomes responsible karmically for that truth. So if they're not guiding you to higher consciousness, if they're not working with you to develop yourself, if they're not giving you information that can help you, like, I noticed you're really tired, and this is probably playing out in the way that you're doing your work at work, and it's stressing you out. So how can you meditate? So here's some tips on how to bring that back into balance and get some proper rest so you're not falling asleep when you meditate. These are the words a mentor uses. These are the actions of a mentor. They're freely speaking on channels um, to give the best and highest information that they can possibly give. Unfortunately, that's where you find the marketers. That's where you find the people who are trying to make an easy bit of change from you. Reiki practitioners in Canada, when I was in Toronto, they had a big push to make everyone become licensed in the city. So they had to prove their training. And the reason they did this is because there were people out there going, oh, yeah, I can attune you from afar. Because I'm going to sit in my house and we're going to look at Zoom and I'm going to attune you online. And all you have to do is sit and meditate. Well, that's not necessarily true, because I question people and their integrity there. Aren't there enough people that they can get to attend if they're that good, if they're great masters, why aren't they having people come to them from their own area? Why are they reaching out to Zoom? Why are they saying, I'll give you your first attunement, then next week we'll get your next attunement, then you'll be a master, and you'll have all this information. Here's this download of the information, read it and wait. I talked with somebody who told me she did not even know the story of Reiki. Never got the story of Reiki and how it came. She didn't understand that there were two lineages. She didn't even know what lineage she belonged to, so she was scammed. And when I asked her what happened to her Reiki master, she says, oh, she retired and moved. I said, have you heard from her? Oh, no. I mainly use it for myself anyway. So it was okay for her to be scammed because she found a way to justify it. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it makes the rest of us look really bad. And it's heartbreaking because This woman is very talented, and she deserved a lot more than what she got. She deserved time and commitment. If you pay $3,000 for levels 1 and 2 and another 3,000 for becoming a master, that's $6,000. I feel like you're owed $6,000 worth of training. And that training, if you're looking at 12, 24 hours of training into 6,000, this person was, I don't know, I'm just guesstimating. So if they were given 24 hours, let's say, of training, that was $250 an hour they paid, and they don't know their lineage. I find that disturbing. I know that there are people like Michael Rhodes who offers online training. Journey into Nature is his online class that he had started just a few weeks ago. I wished I had joined his online training. I thoroughly enjoy his classes. He is a very talented instructor. He teaches, and your life will change. And when you have that teacher and your life will change, then you're lucky. Well, we have someone in Resonant Essentials who's an amazing meditation teacher. He's been doing this solidly for almost 50 years. Everyone who takes this class seriously deepens their meditation practice. And when the meditation practice is deepened, then guess what happens? You come into your higher knowing. You start answering your own questions. And his name is Brother Francis, and he's on Resonant Essentials YouTube on Thursdays, 1 o'clock or 1:30, I can't remember, in the afternoon. He has devoted his lifetime to teaching and mentoring. There isn't a time one that I haven't talked to one of his students. One of his students told me, yeah, if I have a question, I text him, and he gets right back to me. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is. The longest I've had to wait is a couple of hours. And I'm looking at my friend, and I'm like, Brother Francis, when are you sleeping? And he laughs. And he says, I'm here to do the work. That is a mentor. He doesn't charge her per question. He doesn't charge anyone per explanation. He gives of his heart. But you know what? He's also an instructor. And he does offer a great class. He's going to be doing a great one here in May. I'll be posting the calendar of events on the website so that you'll be able to see his next class. He's doing a numerology class, and he's going to be doing a shortened version of his numerology class. What this man knows about numerology can't be matched by anybody I know. Personally, I barely have working knowledge of it, but he knows, and he sees the numbers, and he understands the reason behind the numbers, and he can do it like this, and you're done, and it's amazing. So to study under someone like him for a very nominal fee, which is not $1,500 for a 16-hour course, this is more like, I think the next course is $333 for a 6-week course, and homework, then you got yourself an instructor. People wonder what it takes to be an instructor. It takes dedication, it takes commitment. How do I know? Because I'm an instructor. And I don't often toot my own horn, but I have been studying and training since I was 14, like I said earlier. And I have learned, and I have grown. And I've had my own knocks in this world, just like everybody, but I get back up and I still train, and I still study, and I still take classes, because you know what? Even though I happen to know that I have a very high metaphysical mind, I still think that there's something to be learned from someone else. And that's something else a mentor and an instructor, a true instructor, understands. They don't find a gimmick and just run with it. They're teaching from the heart, and they take classes from the heart. They listen to other people and their instructions from the heart. And they're there listening, loving, and being with those people that make a difference. They're committed. They will do this work until they die. They don't retire and then you never hear from them. And if a mentor has to retire, if I was forced out of this work, the people that I train and I work with, I would find someone equal to or better than me to lead them the next step. And sometimes I've told people, I've taken you as far as I can take you. You need to go to this person and you need to take this person's class. I'm happy to share because I don't have to worry. The people that I place people with are people that I respect and honor. I don't refer people casually, and I don't I think that we've reached the point. If you really want to awaken to this higher consciousness and not just call yourself woke because you're just now coming into this work, you have to remember all of us woke up a long time ago. We woke when we were supposed to, because my generation was the first opportunity for the Aquarian age to start bringing in this new energy. We elders that people have a hard time with know that and a lot more because we're bringing the rest of the energy. We had to raise the energy high enough so that other people could follow. So we had to do our own challenges and our own changing and our own growth. So we understand where you're at and we want to help from our heart. The people who have a problem with people like me are people who think that they know everything and they think that a 5-year-old knows more than them because they're incarnating at a time where the energy is higher. 5-year-old is just getting used to their 3D body and they're going to have their own challenges and we don't know what it is that they came in for. And not everybody who speaks with their mouth speaks truth. Sometimes they speak and they're just repeating what somebody else said. There's a lot of plagiarism going on. A lot. And it breaks my heart because I think the world deserves a lot better. I think the truth is all inside of us. I know, I don't even have to say I think, I know the truth is inside each and every one of us. And we have to access it for ourselves. And we have to raise our consciousness to a high enough standard that our light shines bright. And the brighter our light shines, the more people we help to their truth. So if you want to be a follower, choose your mentor with care. If you want to study, choose your instructor with care. And if you want to throw your money away, then listen to the rhetoric. Listen to the cute words that are being spoken now that really don't have a lot of explanation. Okay? I heard somebody say they were in 7D and they were still working on their humanity. Well, if you're in 7D, the dimensions are also a catchphrase because people read a great book and they decided that they were somewhere in there. And I got to tell you, if you're saying what dimension you're in, if you're in 7D, 5D, 20D, and you're saying this, then your ego is still involved. And when your ego is still involved, guess what? You're still in 3D. You are still in 3D. When you are so busy telling people how high of consciousness you have, your ego is involved. And so your spiritual awareness may not be what it's all cracked up to be, or what you think it is. Humility, training, love, compassion, love for our fellow kind, not condemnation, Collaboration's the word. Communify, community. These are power words. So look for your mentor, look for your instructor, find your classes. I know we have some great ones on Resonant Essentials, but find your path. Don't get caught up this political season with the hate and the division that they're forcing down our throats, both sides. Don't do that because it's not worth your time. You can't find peace when you're worried about what somebody done you wrong. That's the Somebody Done Me Wrong song if I ever heard one. And politics is notorious for that. In my opinion, they should all retire and we should bring in spiritual light workers to run this country. But that's just me because I think the truth should be spoken. I think we should quit living in fear. And I think that our media and our country, and it's not a conspiracy, they're instigating the fear. You have to cherry pick to find their truth. And believe me, I've had my share of going down the rabbit hole with politics. It's the same thing with everything else that we're going through. We have to learn terminology. We're all humanity. You can hear somebody's truth. All you have to do is listen. And when it rings true, you'll know it. Now, how do you get there? You ask your spirit team, hey, I need to learn. I need to grow. I want my life to be one different. I want to grow in consciousness. And with that, ask them to take you to your next instructor, your next mentor. And then watch the signs. Tell them to give you a sign so far beyond any coincidence that you have absolutely no doubt it came from them. And when you do that, you're going to find more power because you're going to find the people you need to train with, not just somebody who's playing monkey butt, picking their nose, while they hand you a quick, fast pass to media outlets. And look at me, I'm a star. There's no stars in this world except for the ones in the sky. There's light in every one of our hearts, and that light is there, and it can get brighter, so bright that you'll look like a star. And it won't matter if the world recognizes you or not because your ego isn't involved. You're not doing this for ego. You're doing this for love of humanity. I hate to see so many fine, amazing instructors go to the wayside and say, you know what, I'm done trying to wake up the masses. I'm done. I'm going to go over here and work with the people who are understanding that it is work, that this isn't a game. I want to work with the masses. I want you guys to wake up, but I can't do it without your help. That's why I wrote the book that I wrote, Mastering Metaphysics, The Essential Foundations and Principles, because it's your first doorway out of preconceived ideas. And there's no rhetoric and there's no marketing in it. It is the first steps into the light on a much more powerful understanding, because when you read that book, you're going to understand truth when you see it. It's going to resonate with you. There's going to be parts of that book that you're not ready for, and there's going to be parts of the book that you more than understand and you've gone so far past. But it's there for everybody. But it's an attempt to wake up the masses from all that we're doing and all that we're saying here. Please find your power. Please don't let scams be happening. Find your truth and empower yourself. And if you're one of those fortunate people that can help get the word out because you have more money than you know what to do with, find somebody and help them be heard. Invest in those people that speak truth. Invest in programs and events that can be seen. It's not going to hurt. It's going to help. And it's going to change the way we do the world. It's going to change the way we react in the world. and it's going to change the way we raise in consciousness. It doesn't matter if you're a star seed. It doesn't matter if you're got galactic connections. Hell, I've got galactic connections. I was part of the galactic. We all were. We all created this universe. All of us, as we broke from source, went out and experienced the cosmos. We are co-creators. So everything that we do, we have the power to do again and again and again. You just have to find it in your heart. There's not one of us that isn't a star seed. It's just whether or not how you look at it. It's not going to make you any more special if you don't find truth in it, if you don't use that energy to raise consciousness. And going through casting judgments on people, you just threw yourself down the rung of the ladder, boom. Going in and saying, well, they're not speaking the way I want them to speak, or it's your fault you're this way, or your fault if your life turned out like that. The minute that judgment comes into play, you're operating on a low frequency. There is no judgment because we are in an amoral universe. And in that amoral universe, there is no right or wrong. Because for every person that has been a victim, there has been a perpetrator. And sometimes the perpetrator is the victim because the victim manipulated them into being a perpetrator. And we go through this. So the best thing is to shut our mouths and quit worrying about where the karma coin lands. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who made themselves sick? Who created? Who did this? Who did that? It doesn't matter. What matters is the moment you're in right now and the changes that you create in your heart now. That's what matters. I'm very passionate about this, I know, and I'm okay with that. Because if I change one person's viewpoint in my life, then I've done a good job. If I've given you a hint of the possibilities that you have within you, I've done my job. If I have led you to one person who can bring that change to you, I've done my job. So with that, I'm going to say, I love you. My heart to yours. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. Thanks.